Hello and welcome to Sitecore for Content Managers. I'm Sean. Today we're going to go through Lesson 6, Rich Text. So rich text is a very complicated field in Sitecore, so I will take you through a deeper dive. We've already seen a few examples of rich text fields, but today we're going to use rich text fields to their full potential. So we're going to cover the rich text editor types. There is a basic editor and a complicated editor, as well as a few in between. We're going to create links in rich text fields. We're going to add images. I'll show you pasting from Word, as well as editing the HTML that a rich text field uses to generate its content. We'll look at the rich text field validation, and we will add some styles to our rich text HTML. So just further to the rich text editor types, there's a default rich text editor, and you can see it has a very simple set of controls. Really just the ability to change your text to bold or italics, add links and images, and that's it. The full rich text editor has a lot more. You can see we've got various CSS styling, bullets, numbered lists, different alignments, lots of controls around embedded content. We've got all of these insert word text controls. So there's a lot to it. And then some of the other rich text editors that fall somewhere in between these two is the rich text IDE, which really focuses on the WYSIWYG editor in the rich text field. And then there's the medium, which has maybe half of these controls that the full one has. All right, so let's do some rich text editing. So I'm just going to log in as content author. Go to the content editor. So what we'll cover is the footer on our homepage. So let me just go to the site. And so this component right here, and you can see we've got some links and we've got this copyright at the bottom. So the structure of this footer is three fields, three rich text fields, one for the links on the left in the left column field, one for the links in the center, and then one for the links on the right, or the content on the right. And then we've got our copyright is in a single line text field. So let's set this thing to edit. And there's no workflow on this item, I don't believe. No, so we are not going to have to go through the workflow. Keep things simple. So let's start with this left column. So this one is set up to use the basic rich text editor, the default. If we look at the center one, you can see that it's set up to use the full editor. Now this is a bit of a contrived example. You probably wouldn't set up Sitecore this way, but just to show you that different rich text fields can actually have different editors set up on them. It's also possible to set up a default editor to be applied across your site. So let's change the footer. Just going to click Show Editor. So these links don't go anywhere right now. If we look at the HTML, we can see that they just go to a hash. So I'm just going to click on this one, the privacy policy. I'm just going to click Insert Link. Let's pick our privacy policy. So if we look at the HTML, so you can see that what Sitecore's done is it's linked to an ID instead of a path. And what this gives us is a more resilient link. So if I move In the last lesson, for example, we moved these pages around and changed the structure. So if I had a link that expected, to find that page under policy/privacy policy, and I moved it, then that link would break. But because it's using the ID, let's just save this and I'll show you. It's using this item ID right here as its link. So no matter where I put this page, that link should work. Even if I move it around, I'm not going to have to go back into this page, into the footer, for example, and change that link. Let's change the terms of use as well. Just going to point it to terms of use. Okay. So that's how links work. Pretty straightforward. We could add a new one. Enter. Call it policies. And we'll pick just our policies landing page. Oops. Let me just highlight that. There we go. So the reason I didn't have to highlight the links is because they weren't just text, they were actual links. But this one was just text, so I need to tell it what text needs to be part of the link. So I'll just pick that again. And there we go. So now we've got 3 links, all pointing to different pages in our policies area. Let's accept. So now if let's just preview that, save it, preview. And if I click on this, it takes me to the privacy policy. So our site's starting to take shape. I'm just going to show you another thing here. So if I go to the presentation details on our homepage, you can see that I've got the footer is pointed to a data source. So it's pointing to the our site data footer component. But if I clear this, because of the way this site is set up, what this component will do is it will default, it won't pull its content from here, it'll try to pull it off the home page. And the home page has a footer set up as well. It has a footer section with the same fields. So this is like a fallback setup. So what we're doing is creating like a kind of a default setting here and then overriding it with our shared footer. So if we just preview that, let me just show the difference here. So you can see this footer has an our mission content set up in the right column. But our home page footer has this contact. So we're expecting to see this contact. So if we just go to the preview, right, we can see the contact. So let me go back to, and that, oh, by the way, so this preview is the experience editor. This one, this is not an experience editor, it's just a static preview page. So I'm just going to change that back. We'll work with this. This is our shared footer, so I want to work with that. Let's just go back to our presentation details. So just another reminder of how presentation details work. We'll pick our shared footer. Okay. And we can even publish that change. We won't publish sub-items. All right. So what I'm going to do with the footer is go into the left column, and I'm just going to put in some invalid HTML here. I'll just put a div without a closing tag. So I'm going to save that. So now you can see there's a validation error. And if I hover over this red dot, it shows me, it has a message. The left column contains some formatting attributes that can cause unexpected results. For more information, use the validation command in the proofing group on the review tab, which is a little bit confusing. Now, if we go to suggest fix, what Sitecore will do is it'll show us, the problem and what it thinks it can do to fix it. Now we can't really see the correction because our div doesn't render. But if we go to the HTML, you can see that what Sitecore's done is it did notice that we had an unclosed tag, so it went ahead and closed that. But it still doesn't like that there's a div inside of this unordered list. So what it's done here is it's just removed it. So this is a good way to see what your errors are. And Sitecore is pretty good at suggesting fixes for errors. So let's just go ahead and accept this and save. All right, let's do a little bit of work on our center column. So what I want to do here is, instead of these text links, I want to make these image links. So what we'll do is we'll just add another, I'm going to get rid of these eventually, but we'll just create a list of images and we'll make them into links. So we've several lessons ago, I can't remember how many now, I added these social icons. So what we'll do is we'll take advantage of these and spruce up our footer. So we'll start with Facebook, I think, and what we'll do is we'll resize these to be a little bit more reasonable. So what I'll do here then is highlight this image and make it into an external link to Facebook. And I've already got that. And we will open a new target, new window. All right, and let's add Instagram. Go 50 by 50. So these links would of course be your actual Instagram. That's not right. Instagram.com. This would be a link to your actual property, right? Not just a generic link. So let's just say in a window. Okay. And I will add, I guess we'll just do 3 of them, let's say. Once you see 3, you get the idea. External link and Pinterest. And we'll open in a new window. Okay, so let's just get rid of these. I'll accept that. So now I've got these social icons, and let's just preview that. Use our handy in-page preview. Oh, it of course doesn't like that because I need to be on the home page. You can't preview an item that doesn't have a layout. This footer is just a component, just a template with some content. It doesn't have a layout. So let's just go back to preview, and here's our social icons. Now they're all stacked on top of one another, and I'd rather have a horizontal look to them. So what we'll do is change the CSS. So we're getting into the HTML now. So what we'll do is we'll open this, and I'll pick this HTML tab, and we will add a style. So these are the list items, and I'm just going to go right in here and add display property, and we will make it inline. So that should line up these items. Now what you'd want to do in this situation is probably have a class, have your developers create a class for you that you could apply to these. But it is possible to just go in and put a style right on these items. So we are going to do that, and I will preview that. Preview and scroll down, and now we've got a nice looking social links with images, and they link you. However, I can see that this one goes to Facebook, Instagram. So we've got these set up, and they look great. All right, so let's do a bit of work with pasting Word into rich text fields. So I'm just going to go to our terms of use page, and when we created this, we just copied the same content. We duplicated this item. So what I'm going to do is change this content, and in this rich text editor, I've updated the setup so that it's using the medium rich text editor, so you can just see what that bar looks like. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to Control A, select all this content, just delete it. Can accept that, so it's blank. And then what I'm going to do is I've got it off screen. I've got a Word document, and I'm just going to copy everything out of it. It's been formatted specifically. Let me just show you what happens if I just paste it in. So I'm just going to paste it. So I'm losing my formatting when I do that. It all gets stripped out. So let me just clear this. And I'm going to go up here. You can see there's a paste from Word. And then it opens up a little box to paste into. And then I can right click. So when I do that, so you can see that my formatting is different. And what it's done is it's preserved the formatting that came through from Word. So I changed the font sizes and some of the fonts and made these red. So that's what Word pasting from Word can do for you if you want to format in Word. So let's just save this, and we'll take a look at our page. So here's our footer now. So we've got our links over here, our new social links. This we didn't change at all. And then if I go to our terms of use, we can see the Word formatted content that we pasted in. So that's it for rich text editor in lesson 6. So what we covered in lesson 6 was the different rich text editor types, how to create links in a rich text field. Briefly took a look at the data source fallback behavior because our footer works that way. And then we went into our center column in our footer and added images and then made those into image links. Then we pasted some MS Word formatted content into a rich text field on our generic content page. Did a little bit of work editing HTML, and we also added some styles to that HTML so that we could horizontally align our social icons. And then we looked at resolving validation errors in rich text fields. So that's lesson 6. I'll see you in the next lesson.